Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby sometimes entrain angels unawares.
Thank you. We are approaching Christmas. It is coming up fast, and we are glad that you are here today. This is our second in the series entitled Gifted. This time of year, everyone is thinking about gifts. The kids are especially well behaved because Christmas is coming, right? Your kids are just angels this time of year, right? Mine certainly are. We all experience that. I saw on one of our members' Facebook pages this week, and I just thought this was too funny not to share. Parent, if you guys don't change your behavior, you're not going to get any presents. And then narrator, and I hear this in the Winnie the Pooh narrator voice. You can hear it in whatever narrator voice you want to hear it. I hear it in that voice. Regardless of their behavior, the children knew they would all get all the presents. They knew it, she knew it, we all knew it. We were thinking about presents. Some of you are thinking how there's just one more weekend for you to get those things that you need to get. And maybe you've been waiting for that paycheck or waiting for that moment so that you could go and do it. Others are still counting. With Amazon Prime, how many days do I have still where it can still arrive in time for Christmas? And you're counting it down. How late can I order and have it still arrive? But with all the commotion, we still know that Christmas is bigger than presents. It is bigger than gifts, it's bigger than shopping, it's bigger than wrapping paper or decorated trees. This time of year, it's bigger than cookie. It's bigger than cookies, it's bigger than eating too much. It's bigger than the busyness that runs with it. There's something this time of year that we celebrate, as we celebrate Jesus, because at Christmas time, we recognize more diligently than in other times that something bigger is at stake. That there is something special in our world. I grew up on a farm. And so one of my jobs growing up was to be the gate man when we were sorting livestock. And I was put there at a fairly young age, too young of an age if you ask my mom, because those critters were much bigger than me. And so, Dad told me, okay, these are the ones I want you to let go on down the alley. These are the ones I want you to sort off. And if there's two coming at the same time and you can't split them, let them both come down the alley. We'll run them back up and we'll try it again. And so I'd sit there with the gate, and Dad would do his best to only send a couple at a time. And it'd be my job. Usually it was something like we were sorting the calves off from their moms and something like that. And so I'd just sit there and I'd do what I was told. And rarely did I have to jump over the fence and try and escape an angry cow, but occasionally. Sorting livestock comes with the job. Matthew 25 teaches us a little parable where Jesus starts talking about sorting livestock. And it's in Matthew 25, verses 31 through 40, where Jesus talks about the sheep and the goats and how he is going to split them up, how he's going to sort them, and how you will be able to tell the difference between those that are doing his will and those who aren't. Matthew chapter 25, starting in verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He'll put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you? Or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Jesus teaches us about who has served him well. And he has sorted people into two groups. Just as we might sort livestock, and he makes that comparison himself, that he has split us apart. And he has said, here are the ones who took care of me. Who took care of me. And at Christmas time, we get so caught up in thinking of ourselves. And we talked about this last week, just that little idea that so many people talk about, it's not what I got for somebody else, but man, the sales were good. I bought a present for me too. And Christmas time is that time where we are supposed to be thinking about something else. And if this is truly a time to celebrate Jesus, then why do we make it so much about celebrating us? Why do we make it so much about what we get? And about our perfect memories and about everything for you and me? And we get so conceited with this. Because we want our holiday for us. And we've lost sight of the fact that this isn't our holiday. This is Jesus's. And we should be giving him our thought. It should be his. And what does he want? What is it that Jesus wants? Well, we're told. We're told that he has separated the good and the bad. And he congratulates those on his right. And he says to them, I am so happy for all that you have done for me. It truly is about him in this situation. Look what you've done for me. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Now, even those on the right are confused. What are you talking about, Jesus? I haven't seen you. You haven't been around. What are you talking about? I gave you clothes. I gave you food. What are you talking about, Jesus? And so he explains. Whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. Whatever you did for the people around you who were in need and hurting, whatever you did for the people around you who were struggling, you did for me. Now those on the left are told just the opposite. That they had ignored his pleas. That when he was hungry, they didn't feed him. When he was thirsty, they didn't give him something to drink. That when he needed clothes, they didn't clothe him. That they ignored his being in prison and being sick. That they did nothing about it. And they too were confused. What are you talking about, Jesus? We never saw you. If we had seen you, we'd have done something. You can almost hear the indignation. If we'd have saw you in prison, Jesus, we'd have come and visit. If we knew you were sick, we'd have come to help you. And Jesus says, whatever you didn't do for the least of these, whatever you didn't do for your neighbors, whatever you didn't do for the people around you, you didn't do for me. This Christmas, we need to remember, we need to see the greater gift. Jesus has called us to love and serve our fellow man, and he has gifted us to work in so many ways. We talked a little bit last week about introducing spiritual gifts, and we all have areas in our life that we are able to serve with. Maybe you don't have mechanical instincts, but you could help somebody out buy groceries. Or maybe you don't have any money, but you could go and spend time. Or maybe you don't have a lot to offer, but you have an ear and you could sit there and listen to somebody and talk with them and share with them. Because there are a lot of people lonely at this time of year. There are a lot of people hurting. And we are all capable of helping and serving hurting, broken people. Maybe it means for Christmas you volunteer to ring the bell in front of the store. I did that growing up. I remember it fondly. Our youth group, that's just what we did. Maybe it means you're giving to Operation Christmas Child. Or maybe it means you adopt someone you know who will be spending Christmas alone, and you give up that beautiful memory that you have of Christmas is going to be perfect. It's going to be just me and my kids. And you bring somebody else into the picture, and it seems odd. Why would I have somebody else, and why would I do this? But I tell you, you may have just made their Christmas. Growing up, I don't remember a Christmas without Edna. Edna was not a relation of ours. Edna was an elderly lady in our church. She was on oxygen. And later in her life, she was in a wheelchair. Edna did not have anything to offer anybody. She was kind of a needy lady. And I remember my dad talking about it. His dad was an elder at the church. He'd say, you know, Edna's probably not ever going to give anything back to the church. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have the ability to serve. She's never going to probably give anything back, but we need to love her anyway. So every Christmas, Edna was at our house. It's a part of growing up. And as a little kid, I never understood why Edna was a part of our Christmases. Why is Edna a part of our Christmases? But every year, Mom and Dad made sure she was included. Her kids lived far away. They weren't in a good relationship with her, and so she had nobody. And so she spent Christmas with the Ericksons. Christmas really is a time where we can give something away. It really is a time where we can do and be our best and use our gifts to serve our fellow man. This Christmas, you turn on the radio, you look at the media, it seems to be very concerned about political correctness and don't sing Baby It's Cold Outside and all this don't offend me attitude. What if instead of getting offended, we did something to make sure Christmas was really about Jesus? What if instead of getting offended and seeing just how many things we could be mad about, we used it as a chance to go and serve somebody and help somebody, to feed somebody who needs food, or to clothe somebody, or to help, to be there with somebody who's lonely? What if we made Christmas truly about Jesus? You know, one of the biggest blessings about being in a small town is you can actually go to the grocery store and you can talk to the owner there, and she knows if people can't afford groceries. And you can just say, hey, I've got $50 or $20, whatever, you can pay. They'll let you. You can't do that at Walmart, but you can do it in Sutherland or Polina or Primgar. You can do that in the small towns. Maybe you send an anonymous card because you know somebody. You know somebody, and it's a single mom or a single dad, and they're struggling, and you know that it's going to be hard for them financially. Just send it anonymous. Just send a card, a gift card from Walmart or whatever, and it says, in celebration of Jesus' birth, here. What if you did something? There's so many things that you can do. So many of you will go to Sioux Falls or Sioux City in the next 10 days. You'll go to a big city. Did you know that you can go to the Union Gospel Mission in Sioux Falls or the Gospel Mission in Sioux City and drop off presents? Because there are moms with kids in those facilities who will spend Christmas in that facility. Who will spend Christmas without a home. Who will spend Christmas simply surrounded by these people that claim to love Jesus. And you can make all the difference. Serve somebody. You have so many gifts, and you are gifted. Even if you don't have money, you can serve somebody. You can invite somebody to spend Christmas with you. You can volunteer to feed the homeless. You can make all the difference in the world. And God has placed on us something bigger than trees and tinsel. You don't have to wait for your kids to be gone to do it. In fact, one of the best things that you could do is to start now and teach them. They'll be confused like I was. Why is Edna spending Christmas with us? They won't understand until they're older. But they'll get it. They'll get that Christmas was about something bigger than your perfect Christmas picture. And that photo-esque moment around the Christmas tree on Christmas Day, it was something bigger. I know each one of us in here have people on our hearts. We have people on our hearts and that are going to be struggling this Christmas. You know people, and maybe this is the first Christmas after a divorce, and you know that parent is going to be spending Christmas morning away from their kids for the very first time. Reach out. Do something. Be there for them. You know people that can't afford to pay their electricity bills, let alone buy clothes for their kids as a present for Christmas morning. Do something. Be there for them. You know people who are sick and hurting and need somebody to just care and stop in and see them and talk to them. And you tell yourself, oh, there's not enough time. It's too busy a time of year. You make all the difference in the world. 5, 10 minutes make all the difference in the world for you to stop. Be empathetic. Be caring. Pray, but do more than pray. Pray, but don't stop with prayer. Feed the hungry, clothe your neighbor, invite in the lonely. This Christmas, we really need to love people. And if this church can be the light of Jesus this Christmas, what an amazing Christmas that will be. This time, would you turn your attention to the screens?
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining. Till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night, when Christ was born, oh, holy night. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we. Let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, then ever, ever praise we. Noel, Noel, oh, night, when Christ was born, was born.